And you're right, David, my women are very different. So my women usually are women who have money. So they might, well, when I say relatively speaking, they might make, mid six figures, for example, right? So they're not necessarily looking for a man to make what they make. They're wanting a partnership. They typically say to me, I want a man who's not intimidated by my money. So I typically get really successful women who want a man who would be okay with their success. And so sometimes that's coaching I have to do with the man. Like, look, she's good. She doesn't care about your money. She has her own. Are you going to be okay with that? Okay. Because this woman may have 3 or 4 properties and et cetera, et cetera. She didn't care about that. She just wants someone to be a partner for her, to accept her, so it just kind of depends on what we're looking at.
Right. I meant both of those. So.
But in most cases, women are only going to date, especially successful women who are going to date at their level or above. They don't try to go down.
Because my women will. Because my women will. Because you know why, Ming? Because they feel like I can't. So here's the thing, and I think what you're doing is smart because you have widened the pool with the different races and cultures. But if we stay in the African American community, these women feel like, I know I can't get someone who makes what I make. I know I'm 1% of the population. So I'm not asking you to give me him. Give me Joe that works at the post office, makes $60,000 a year. He's going to be stable. He's going to be at home, taking care of the kids. Give me Joe. So they'll come to me and say, Shae, he doesn't have to make what I make. I just want him to be home and be a good father for my children. So I do match that way all the time.
Okay, girl.
Ming is like, well, that's right. Ming is having a, okay.
It sounds amazing.
She matches a different demographic. It's a different demographic. So it'll look different,
Right. What about, like we said in the first episode, Ming, you did, unfortunately let this gentleman go. I think he was 47 and he, was saying he wanted 27. Maybe he would date up to 28. I mean, I guess 40. That's, yeah.
He was 49.
Oh, he was 49. Excuse me. So is that like, how do you guys, how does that work? Like you said, like, I think you said, Joseph, like on the bait and switch. And like, when you let this guy go, Ming, like.
Yeah. When Troy first came to me, he had been dating younger women. And I mean, really young, much younger than he is. And he said that he was looking for a woman who was nurturing, wanted to be there for, he has children, 2 daughters, he wanted to be there for the daughters, he wanted a woman, but that's not what he ended up doing. So, I felt as though he wasn't serious. So I fired him because again, I'm not gonna waste my time because it is valuable and I can't get it back. So when he wasn't willing to do what I asked him to do, I had to give him his papers.
Oh boy.
That was the end of it, right?
Yeah, and I work with him on coaching him, and he didn't want to get fired. He said, Ming, listen, I don't want to go to anybody else. I don't want to leave. But at the same time, you don't want to do the work. You know what I mean? Your mind, you don't want to straighten out that brain and get it right and get it focused. And so, he wants what he wants, but I'm not able to do that for him.
What about, once you take someone on, because like we also learn from, I also learned from watching this episode, it's not just matchmaking, you guys, like I think you were saying, Shae, like you offer like makeover services and dating coaching. And what do people do? Like once you're on the date, like here we are, you've taken the person, they're trying to listen to you, they go on the first date. Like what things do you guys see that people do wrong? Like a dating, like not doesn't even have to be the first date. Like what are some things they do wrong?
Well, in this social media culture, a lot of women are on their phones the whole time. You could be, I get women. So let me say this. They didn't show this on air, but I usually send my clients on a mock date so I can test these things out. But you have people that show up with clothes that are too short, too tight, men who are leaving their wallets behind, all of these little no's. Chewing gum really loud, popping bubbles at the table. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff people do that are like, no, don't do that.
Yeah. I had a client that showed up in scrubs to his date. I was extremely pissed. Oh, I lit into him. I'm like, you mean to tell me that you didn't take the opportunity to stop, go home, change your clothes, and get appropriate for your date? So it didn't end well for him after I got the news. So I was pissed. But yeah, they'll do some crazy things and they will show up different ways. So yeah.
I a lot of people representing who they are. I tell everybody, be yourself,
Yeah.
your full self from the first date, because the whole goal is to have somebody fall in love for who you are, right?
Absolutely.
Of a representative. So why waste all this, 2-3 weeks, and then all of a sudden you finally, bring out your true character and true personality, and then that person doesn't even like you. You guys both waste each other's time. So I tell people all the time, just show up as yourself. Me personally, I'm a jokester. I got a great sense of humor. I laugh. I like to joke. So if I'm at a table with a woman who's dry sense of humor, we're not going to work. But I'm going to put that on display from the first date. And I just tell my clients to do the same thing.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Do you guys find that there's no difference between men and women as far as who is the more difficult client, or are women more difficult or men?
I personally, again, my clients for men are like 90 something percent, 95%. So that tells you right there. I prefer to work for the man. For men, for me, I think they're a little easier to work with than women. Again, and they also do the choosing. So it makes my job a little easier. I know when they come to me, they're usually serious about finding a match. In most cases, again, as you saw the show, every now and then one sneaks in who says that they're serious, but they're not serious. And I have to go through that with them. But in most cases, when they come to me, they're really wanting to find a special someone and fall in love and get married and then right off into the sunset. So, that's my job. I love it, So yeah, I think men are easier.
I agree. Men are typically easier. I agree with Ming on that. Only because when a man comes to me and he's paying me, he is ready. He's like, look, I've been out there. I've been in the clubs. I've been on these apps. Nothing is working. Find my wife. And I can bet when I match him and it's a successful match, I get 6 months later, I get an invitation to the wedding. I mean, they're serious. It's like, he's like, you know what? It's time for me to find my wife. And they're like, they can have that intention and go forward with this process in a way that women just can't, because we can think you're the one, but I don't know. Times are changing. Women are proposing these days, but typically, traditionally, women have to wait on.
No, they're not.
You see that?
Right. No, I'm saying, I know times are changing, and we're probably gonna see more of that. Women.
I hope not. They're halfway to divorce if they do it. But
let men be men, please, ladies.
Yeah.
Poor people being whoever they are. Be who you are.
Me personally,
let the men be men.
You know what? I thought that men were easier to match. The first couple of men clients I had, they were much easier than the women I had. And then I got some men clients that were just, they wouldn't even get on the phone with the person. I'm like, this is everything you wanted, such and such, and it's just one little thing. They're like, no. So to me, I think to Shae's point, when a man comes to matchmaking, it's because he's looking for a wife. Like when women come to matchmaking, they're looking for more dating options, right? Because it's a black man, a high caliber black man that has a lot of things going on himself. It's not easy. It's not hard for a man to find a date, right? But if he's looking for that right woman and looking for marriage, then if he comes to us, he's like, this is what I want. And like Shae said, they'd be married within 6 months because they're intentional about it, But I've had horror stories both ways.